Greetings, everyone. Today we are embarking on a journey to discover the best countries that you can emigrate to in 2024. This video, I'm going to be talking about several other countries than Canada, United States of America, and United Kingdom that you can emigrate to and be able to have the opportunity that you seek. Before then, you need to know that working abroad is actually a very transformative experience that can broaden your horizons both personally and professionally. As the world is becoming more and more interconnected. So the options for international careers are expanding. But the question is, where should you go? What part of the world should you move to? That is what we are exploring in this video. The countries that you can move to that can afford you the opportunity that you seek as an immigrant. So before we dive into the list, I have considered several factors in putting these countries, the list of these countries together. Factors such as work-life balance, happiness indices, and cost of living, which is also very important, and the ease of obtaining a work visa to this country. In case you're new to this channel, you're tuning in for the first time. My name is Steven Ojo, and on this channel, I deal with all things traveling abroad, settling abroad, and securing a work visa abroad. So if this is something you would like to see whenever you come on YouTube, kindly consider subscribing to this channel, and do not forget to like and share with your friends. So to my existing subscribers, I really appreciate and thank you. So the first country on my list is New Zealand. So New Zealand is a very beautiful country that you can emigrate to in 2024. New Zealand shares is very close to Australia. So if you're in New Zealand, you can actually go into Australia and back anytime you like, depending on the regulation. So New Zealand is a country that you can consider. So what is the cost of living in New Zealand? In New Zealand, the cost of living is about $927 dollars. $927. That is 1,563 New Zealand dollars a month. That's and plus rent, guys, and plus rent. You spend $927 plus rent in New Zealand, and the average salary that you get is 3,323 in New Zealand. That's the average salary that you can get. They have a very high minimum wage in New Zealand. So the work visa duration, you usually get 12 to 23 months, based on which country you are applying for. So it's actually usually seasonal visas that people use to go in there. So if you use a seasonal visa to go in there, you started working, then you can actually seek for other more permanent work visa if you want to remain in the country. So you can consider moving to this country. So if you are a young adult looking to expand your perspective through a grand adventure and plan to fund it with intermediate work along the way, like New Zealand is a good place for you, especially for those in maybe European countries. You can actually take a work holiday to this country. So without wasting much time on this, they have a very high standard of living, good standard of living, and they are. If you check the 2022 happiness index, you see that they are rates really high. They are happy people. So I'll leave a link in the description box so that you can be able to read up more or see how you can apply for visas, or you can check other of my videos where I actually made video on how you can emigrate to New Zealand. So the second on my list is um, Netherlands. Netherlands is a country in Europe. It's a very beautiful country in Europe, and the cost of living is $975, guys, plus your rent. You get 975, and the average salary that you get is $3,000 that you get a month. That's the average, and the work visa duration you can get indefinite with a company sponsor. So if you are willing to go to this country, you can search for job, and if you find a company that can sponsor you, then they can give you a visa that you can use to, emigrate to this country. And their happiness index is ranked 5. Okay, so it's also important to let you know that Netherlands is a very safe country with great social programs and a strong economy. Additionally, the Netherlands is on the cutting edge of research and academia, and an expert will find abundant opportunities to work in this field. So if you're an academia, this is a very attractive country. Work visa in Netherlands. How do you get work visa in Netherlands? So it can be a challenge to obtain a working visa in the Netherlands, but the rewards outweigh the effort if you are up for it. So a traditional work visa requires you to have an employer willing to sponsor you and will expire when you leave the company. So your visa is tied to the company who gave you that sponsorship. So that could be quite challenging, but that's not to say it's not something you can do. So if you put your mind to it, then you can be able to, it's a sacrifice you can make until you get your permanent residency. So the Netherlands has other programs to help international workers enter the country. They have the startup visa, which allows investors to reside in the Netherlands for 1 year to develop a new innovative business idea. So the government also provides you with the assistance of a local monitor to help your business grow. So if you are an entrepreneur or you are a person that is business minded or oriented, this is a country for you. You can go and try out what you know how to do, make your business proposal. They have it means that you can use that to enter the country. So if your business proposal is attractive, and then you might just be lucky to get a visa to come to this country to carry out that business. So then how do you find work in the Netherlands? So you don't have to go too far. Just go to your LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a great place to actually network and search for jobs in the Netherlands. So as a tech forward country, most openings will be advertised online and accessible to through top international job sites like LinkedIn, Indeed, and others. So you can look that up. Third country on my list is South Korea. I'm actually very excited to add this country to the list. So South Korea is a very beautiful country in the Asia. So the cost of living in South Korea is about $962. $962. That's like what 1,340,000 Korean won, you know, and the average salary is $2,210 that you can make a month in South Korea. So look at what you are spending plus your rent, and then look at what you'll be able to be left with to save. So there are several, and the work visa duration is usually 12 months, and the happiness index ranking is 55. So there are several ways you can actually go to South Korea, although it's not very easy to get the visa, but the easiest way to get South Korea visa is through student visa. So if you get student visa, then if you apply for universities, and their universities are relatively cheap, they are really, really cheap and of high standard. And you can use that to enter. And then another means that you can use to enter is through a business visa. So if you're coming to do business, then you can also get a visa to South Korea. South Korea is a very beautiful country. You can enjoy hiking when it is summer. You can enjoy their beautiful and healthy foods. You enjoy street foods in Busan in South Korea. I mean, in Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea. So, and you have to know that in South Korea, you should be prepared to actually work hard, to work longer hours than you are used to. It's a hard working country. It's a country where you work and work and work, but you get paid real good. So, and it is cheap if to emigrate to this country. So you can look this country up. It is very cheap to emigrate to this country. Don't focus your mind on maybe countries. There are some of these smaller countries that you go to and be able to actually make a lot of things, make a lot for yourself, and live a good life. Um, okay, without much ado, I will also like to go to the next one. I would like to go to the next one, which is Brazil is the next on my list. Brazil is a beautiful country in the Brazil. I think Brazil is in South America. So this country, the cost of living is $479, an average of $479, and that is plus your rent. Look how cheap it is. That's quite cheap. And the average salary is $396 a month. Okay. And the work visa duration is 24 months, and the happiness index is 47. But you might not be getting too much money in this country, but the country is really cheap and affordable to live in. So if you're looking for a laid back place or a relaxed country where you don't have to kill yourself over high rents and high cost of living, then Brazil should be one of the countries you should consider. How to get a work visa in Brazil? How to get work visa in Brazil? There are multiple forms of work visas in Brazil depending on your circumstances. So they have what they call the Vitem V visa, that's temporary visa, and it's the most common visa for expat working in Brazil. and the Visto Permanente visa. I'm going to drop a link on the description box for you to have a look and see how you can get their visa. So that's how you can find, and you can also find these jobs in Brazil. You go to Glassdoor,